Hi, and welcome to Surviving Denmark. I'm trying to make a series of videos about surviving and coping with life in Denmark, using mainly the skills I've learned as a Boy Scout many years ago, and from watching a ton of YouTube videos about survival in bushcraft. Apparently everyone needs an EDC video, an everyday carry video, so I'm going to show you what is in mine, and tell you about why there isn't anything else in it than there is. So to start off with, I am a filthy smoker, so I always carry cigarettes with me. I do not recommend that people carry smokes, because it's not good for you, it's bad for you. On top of that, I'm asthmatic, so I can't go anywhere without this, especially when it's allergy season, because I'm also allergic to most of the fantastic plants that are in the nature. So I need my inhaler. Never goes anywhere without it. On the plus side of being a filthy smoker, I always carry at least one lighter, but most of the time two. This is just a normal, boring, everyday lighter you can buy really cheap. But I've made some small improvements. I've put a small lanyard on it, so it's easier to get in the pocket, and I can hang it onto stuff so it won't get lost as easy. I've also added a small ranger band, bicycle inner tube, if I can grab it. It's mainly for use as tinder. It's really good even when wet. You just cut some small ribbons into it, light it on fire, and it will burn for around 5 minutes, and that way you can start a decent fire. Underneath that, if you can see it, I have wrapped around 3 meters of cheap black duct tape, mainly for repairing holes in my jacket or in my tarp or stuff like that. But it's always nice to have duct tape with you, and people say it has a million uses. I don't think so. You can stick stuff together with it, and you can use it for small cuts, and if you have a really bunch of it, you can use it as cordage. I wouldn't recommend that unless you are a mythbuster or something like that. My other lighter is a bit more practical for the woods. It's very rugged. You can see how much gas is in it. Also a lanyard for the same reasons. When it lights, that is, you can see it's really hot. You can turn anything into a fire with this bad boy. There is a bit of problem to get it to light unless you actually swing it around. I think the mixture of gas and air is too thick. But yeah, I'm always tinkering with this one. But it's really cool, and it's really easy to start a fire with it. So I normally have this in my jacket. What I also always have with me is my keys and my wallet. And I don't carry a normal wallet, because I think most of the things you have in a wallet you don't need actually. So I have a couple of bills in it. I have my visa, I have my driver's license, social security, and my IKEA card. I buy a lot of stuff in IKEA. And it all packs into a very small package, and if it's the size of a credit card, you can have it here, and there's no reason to go berserk and have like a big bag instead of a wallet. So this is what I do, and this is what I've been using for around 5 years, I think. Never anything bigger than that. Of course, my keys, car keys, home keys, work keys. Then I have this small light, and suddenly I can't remember what it's called, but it's a night call, I think it is, tube N, also with a small ranger band, both as tinder, but also so I can use it as a headlight. I'll show you that in a bit, but this is really amazing. Has a normal setting, not very impressive. You can't really use it for anything useful. But if you double click it, it gives about 45 lumen, I think it is, and that is more than enough for everything I get in touch with in my normal day. And you don't need batteries for it. It's USB rechargeable, and that way I can always make sure there's power in this. I have it all. I have a Gerber dime, very small multi-tool. I have it out of my pocket around 30 times a day. I actually don't get how I made do without it before I got it. The pliers, I can't say I use that a lot, but the small knife, the package opener, the scissors even, I use a lot. The bottle opener is sort of pointless to me because in Denmark, if you can't open a soda or a beer with anything at hand, you're not old enough to drink beer. Most of us can open a beer with a piece of folded paper, so it shouldn't be any problem. So I'm thinking about taking this away or turning it into a bit holder, so I can use normal drill bits and screwdrivers in it instead. The file that comes with this tool also was horrible, so I switched it out with a file from another mini tool. And that's the good thing about this, you can really easily open it up and exchange the tools as long as they have the same width. So now I have a nail cleaner and nail file. It can also be used for small pieces of wood. I have some problems with this tool, mainly because the steel is really bad. I had seen a lot of reviews on these tools and understood that Gerbers at some time changed the type of steel, but I wouldn't have thought it would be this bad. The blade and even the package opener that I at that point only had used, I think, 3 times, actually bent under normal use. I swear, nothing strenuous, only opening packages, cutting small pieces of wood, and they bend and make big dents into the blade, so I had to sharpen it quite vigorously actually. But besides that, for the price, a really good multi-tool. I'm thinking about maybe picking up a Leatherman with the squirt, with the scissors, S4 I think it is, because I use scissors a lot, and I don't want to carry around a scissor. Everything I have with my keys and my wallet is connected with a lanyard to, it's not a carabiner, but a hook to my belt, so I won't lose it and won't get pickpocketed or anything like that. And of course you can restrain people with it quite easily, wrap it around their hands, and you can hold them until the cops come and take the stupid people away. What else? I live in the country and it's really dark. There's no lights on the road, so having lights with me is really important. So besides this one, I also have this one, and this is I think that's the True Night TI3. Also has it has 3 settings actually, but the first setting is rather useless. 1 lumen. In my opinion, they should just take that away, because this is what we came for, around 100 lumen. It's really powerful in a very small package, and it only uses 1 AAA battery, and you can always get these batteries everywhere you go. So that's really practical. Again, a small piece of Ranger band and a normal piece of elastic for clothing. The point of this is, instead of spending really many money on a nice small headlamp, you can just put a piece of elastic or even a string through the Ranger band I have on both my lamps and put it on your head, and presto, you have a headlamp. And otherwise it's just a normal lamp. Then of course I have my phone. I wanted something smaller, but even the Samsung Galaxy S5 Mini is still a quite bigger phone. But well, modern people can live without their phone. It's my GPS, map, communications, entertainment, camera. I use it for everything. So yeah, can't live without it, so I always have it with me. But the problem with smartphones is that they run out of battery. So everywhere I go, I always have just a small battery pack. There's even a light in that. Very weak light, but it's there. But with this, I can charge my phone around 2 times. And of course, there's a cable along with it. It's in my jacket. That's really cool because with this, I can both recharge my phone, my light, and my tablet, and I also bring along a lot of the time. And then the last bit I always carry around, except my clothes, is my Pebble Steel. This is a fantastic watch, smartwatch made by Pebble. This is, I would say, smarter than most smartwatches because it actually, even under quite rigorous use, can hold the battery charge for around 5 days. Whereas most other smartwatches, as Android and iPhone, and Apple and Samsung, they have to be recharged every day or maybe every second day. But this is really doable, mainly because it has very simple screen. It only lights up when you shake it or you push the buttons, and you can completely design which tools and watch faces it has. So besides being a normal usable watch, right now I'm using a watch face that also shows in what phase the moon is in, but I also has programs such as a compass. Oh, needs calibration. Needs that if we haven't used it for some time, and it's actually really accurate. This compass app. So if I actually got in a bug out situation or something like that, the first I would do is go in and turn off the Bluetooth signal to it, so it will keep the charge for even longer. And that way I will always have a compass and a lot of other functions such as navigation, a dice shaker, because I'm a role-playing nerd, and this function that lets me remote control the camera in my phone, so I can actually see what the camera of the phone is pointing at. So right now, you can see this. Maybe a little bit small, but hello, that's me in the very small screen. And that way I can control my camera without going around pushing buttons with my big dirty hands. So that's my everyday carry, and maybe it's time for a bit of explanations. When you see a lot of people's EDCs, they carry around big switchblades, guns and stuff like that. It's not allowed in Denmark. Denmark is a country with a lot of rules. It's so civilized, it's sort of boring, which you will hear a lot of more about in my channel. It is not allowed to carry folding knives that lock the blade. It's not allowed to have folding blades that are over, I think it's 9 centimeters. It's not allowed to carry blades with a fixed blade over 12 centimeters. There's very few exceptions to the rules, and that is if you use this sort of blades or tools in your work or as a hunter or fisher. And that's the only exception. So you can't walk around with a fixed blade in a city, for example. You will be arrested, and the penalty is quite stiff actually. So this is sort of the biggest thing you can carry around in Denmark without breaking the law. Guns, of course, is completely forbidden. You can't get a license to have a gun, but you can only shoot it at a closed gun club. Rifles are, well, for hunters and for people who are part of the National Guard. They can have their guns at home, but can only take them out when they go out to practice or when they need them. So Denmark is a very peaceful country, and even when there is violence, it's normally only very small knives that people have smuggled into town, or lots of fists and kicking. But normally we are quite happy people, and we like to drink a lot, I hear, out in the world. I can't say that's completely correct, but it's a funny anecdote, so we'll keep that up in some of the other videos I will be coming with. This was my first video, so I hope you could cope with my horrible English. I'm going to keep up the horrible English, and maybe it will get better after some videos, some training. So out there, have a good time. Bye bye. Till we see you next time.